We meet again. Got a lot moved around the past day and a half. Got the Zephyr in here, the Bug out there, the big truck moved over, and the Jeep back in the shack. It occurred to me that that bumper doesn't look so good. Definitely been smashed and crashed and bent and twisted. And it's got a mega trailer hitch on there that I don't even know what that poor little 4-cylinder engine would be subjected to with the capacity that that trailer hitch could tow. So I thought to myself, how would we improve on this? Knowing that Jamie's Jeep, and Jamie, she wants a Jeep. She doesn't want a weird art car.
No.
So I thought, shoot, I got a big old hunk of this. Would you like to see a bumper made out of this?
I would.
It's utilitarian, not overly showy. It's strong, and I had it laying around,
Perfect.
right? So you can see the way that this bumper is. This is a stamped piece. It's a bumper, but it's also all bumped out of shape. These are interesting. I thought these were like holders for those jerry cans, but I don't think so. I think they're actually bumpers. Like this was meant to take an impact. And then these little deals, I think it's how you can lift it up. I'm not even sure. But it's all out of shape.
Just like me.
Join the club. It's all out of shape, just like me. But that's all behind us now. We are on to the fabrication. I'm going to cut this off and then I'm going to show you what I did behind the scenes. This is the leftover. This will become the front bumper. It's interesting because I had just enough of this material, so this will go on here. However that works out. Big, strong cross support to hold the winch that will ultimately live there. And I don't want the bumper in the front hanging way out to the tires because you got to have your approach angle.
Right.
You don't want to complicate that.
Get out of my way.
Exactly. So it's just a straight cross beam winch mount. Heck yes.
And what are we waiting on? I know a lot of people, and I'm curious, what are we waiting on with the Jeep to get it like running?
So I talked with our good friend Chris B, who we got the chassis from, and an engine, and a number of other things. Tie rod. I was like, hey man, like we're waiting on these parts. He's like, I got you. He sent me a link. We're getting the engine gasket kit. It's coming in. And then he hooked me up with a guy in Tehachapi who is going to assemble our transmission. So I don't have to fuss with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
So he did. Chris has the Wagoneer or something. It's a cool wagon Jeep
Yeah.
and almost the same arrangement. I think it's pretty close to the same engine, but he's like, no, he did my transmission for a reasonable price. It works perfect. Why do you want to mess with that? I said,
Right.
I don't want to mess with that.
That's cool. Oh, thanks, Chris.
So all the parts for the transmission are here. So I'm going to talk with that fella up there, up the hill, and make that happen.
Because once the transmission gets running and then the engine parts, then it'll run. Is that pretty much how it works?
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm just here to weld a bumper, ma'am. We'll find out. I do have some ideas. So I'm going to get into demolition mode. I'm going to use a studio term. I'm going to strike this whole thing. I'm going to strike that scene, and we're going to go on to the next. Ready for the montage?
Ready for the montage.
I'm going to put on your ear. I just want to say one thing also. I've been using these things in the shop with the Bluetooth connected. It's awesome. They don't go loud enough to, break your concentration from what's surrounding you. It's just a nice background tone, kind of like what Jamie does with the music in the videos. It's cool. If you get a call on your phone, it's like right there. It tells you. Pretty groovy.
We got more on the way from Australia.
And I'm not just selling a product, I'm telling you. Even if I wasn't selling it, I'd still be using these. Once more, we want to thank everyone that's subscribed because it's really helping us get closer to that goal, the 100,000 right?
Yeah. It's not an integration.
Once again, we want to thank everyone that is a subscriber to this channel. If we get to 100,000 subscribers, then we're somebody. We're
Jamie gets her
validated.
special
So
award.
please subscribe. Like, it really helps us. Otherwise, all this might just fade away. I don't know. We're doing it on a whim, and I want to build a bumper, so if you subscribe, we could do more. So, as you can see, that bumper deal was pretty much a foobar. You know what that means?
I do.
It means it's no longer serviceable. You might save that for a different project. All right, so what I did with that piece of material that I showed you earlier was set it up on this piece of what I did with that piece of I-beam channel that I showed you earlier was over here. I did a little thing to it. All right, so I'm doing some work, right? I've set up an area here where the trailer hitch, the ball, will live. And I was just getting a little bit fancy with the hole saw, etc. So this is going to be the rear bumper. I set it up to be about as wide as these two body lines here because I thought that might look stylish.
I like it.
Let me grab a couple stands and put it in place.
This thing really is like a little mini tank, isn't it?
Pretty sure they had one main purpose. That was, don't get stuck. I'm thinking something like that. All right. Because when I was considering this, you know, this is going to be a toy. This is a fun machine, right? You're going to want to hop in and out of the back of it pretty easily. So this makes a darn good non-slip step, wouldn't you say?
I like it.
And I stopped doing the holes. You know, I wanted to lighten it up. This is pretty substantial. But if you are towing something, you know, we might use this to get vehicles unstuck from the mud out here. So I did want it to be strong. I do want to clearance this out now, looking at it, so that whatever we do hook up doesn't bind on that. But I was thinking if I put more holes through here, it may make it less strong. I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist like that. But it's got to move. It's got to move closer to the frame rail, so I'm going to cut right through here. Let me make a mark. Yeah, that's what we're looking for, something like that. That should offer us just enough room to have this trailer on. Of course, clearancing that. How do you feel? Any suggestions?
I don't really have any, honestly. I just want to get this baby on the road.
Agreed.
Patience.
Yeah. So they did weld this huge hunk of steel onto here. I imagine this did have a trailer hitch to start with, but I think it was overkill. But I don't know, how do you feel? Do you want to raise this up to here? Because I was trying not to cut into this structure. See, we're pretty much at that level. So that's the thing. The other piece, it was a stamped steel and it did have a little divot right through here. Or do you feel like,
I mean, I like it because I think it just looks hard.
but the height?
Yeah. Oh, because it doesn't match the chassis.
Correct. But I don't want to cut into this. I'd rather cut into this. That's our center right on that hole. So we could take the grinder and just nip into this here and bring this up. We need to come up about 1 inch. What I'm looking at. Let me step back and look at that. Here, 10 and a half, 10 and a quarter, 10 and 3/8, and that is within 16ths. Yeah, let's bring this up.
Okay.
Because we're not really, what I was thinking is, we don't want this so high up that whatever trailer we're pulling looks like it's all jacked up on a weird angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was my concern. That's why that other one hung down so low. But like, what are we really pulling as far as trailers go? I thought this was more just an anchor point if something's stuck or we need to pull someone out of the mud, etc. Just a good, strong.
I don't plan on trailering anything with this,
Good answer.
other than it just like being a cool grocery getter.
So that means we got to cut in 1 and a quarter
And go to King of the Hammers.
and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 and a quarter. I'm gonna measure down from here. 1 and a quarter. Right there. That's not a big takeaway. We want about this wide. Right. Let's cut. All right, that was a whole lot of messing around.
Wow.
Took the air blower, put some of the dust away. Heavy metal. I even used up all the batteries. That's that noise in the background from the cordless grinder. So brought out the big dog.
You're putting them through their paces.
Well, that's what it's about. I mean, they're still hanging, but battery life is, yeah, different than AC voltage from the line. So yeah, I put a notch in there and cleared it up. Let's see.
Wow. Okay, I see what you did there. I like it better. Yeah.
See, it's coming up right to that tab. That way we can put a nice weld on that. Yeah, I like that.
That's way better. You are the fabricator.
I'm an artiste. Gonna take some of that rust off. Set up the welder. One thing I was thinking about in doing this, because I know Jeep purists, restoration minded, well, you ruined it, right? You're gonna weld this piece of steel onto the classic Jeep chassis. Yes, I am, but I'm doing it in a way that does not affect any of the original rivet holes. See where I'm going with this? I just ground off all the rivets, so they're in there. I'm welding to some tabs, etc., without affecting the historic integrity of the chassis.
I'm gonna say something though. It's my Jeep, and I can do what I want.
Carry on.
It's still gonna look rad, and it's a Willys or
Willis.
Willis Jeep. Yeah, because like once we go to the Jeep and Friends roundup, like people are gonna love the Jeep. And if they want to talk about us, they'll just talk about us behind our back like normal people.
We welded that bunk piece of iron to the chassis. Yeah, I saw it. At first I didn't like it, but
And they said it all behind our back, and that's cool.
first I didn't like it, but
That's what polite people do.
first I didn't like it, but it's growing on me.
And they seem to be having a lot of fun hanging out in it.
The Jumpin' Jeep Jubilee Jamboree. I'm gonna put 2 quick tacks on this without getting too far in. We still gotta do a little more cutting. I'm just gonna set it up right to this tab, like so on both sides. Center that. Check. Next point of concern is that. Let me get the little Volkswagen Bug tow bar and discuss. Be right back. This is just to mimic a trailer, this little dealie you see on pretty much every trailer. And we're gonna need it to settle down over this ball and not foul on that plate either. So that's a 2-inch ball on there. That's the standard for trailers nowadays. This older tow bar is a 1.5-inch. So you can see it's not gonna land on it, but that should work out because it's only doing this. It's gonna do that and that. But as it comes down, this area needs to be accommodated for. And to swing, if you're pulling all the way over, right, you're gonna need that much room on both sides. You thought it was gonna be a simple weld and walk away from it project, didn't you?
I did.
There's a lot to consider. Engineering. So check this out. I can take that right over there and make a mark from the center. We're about look at that, 6 inches out. Let's double that. Let's go to 12. Let's make another mark. And I feel like if it's that far down, like if we cut right through on that line, wouldn't that make sense?
So then that would give it the more of a turn.
Yes, and also that hitch could, I'm sorry, this would be the trailer ball, but the trailer itself, the hitch, I suppose, could fall down over it without hitting this.
Mm.
These right angles, this, it's bugging me. They're all over the place. What if? It's like I took these in here like that, right? See that? What if we did that everywhere? I mean, we put it here, right? It came from here to there. Came from here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. To there. Right? And we kind of rounded off with the sander. So everything looked just extra special. Came in like that. Took out all those hard points, front and rear, top and bottom. That way when you walk by, you wouldn't gash your leg open.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I like that idea too. Talk about speaking from the voice of experience. Because you know the, oh, do you know the joke about the trailer ball and the ankle
No.
or the shin?
Mm-mm.
So you're walking around your truck, right? That big trailer ball that sticks out of most of the back of the trucks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Oh, it happens over and over and over. There's memes about it. You should look on the interweb. I'm gonna cut that with the big grinder. Be right back. So yeah, that was the whole concept here, where you're not gonna get the ouch, shin effect. You could still put on your trailer. This is such a long shank. I'm probably going to put a support washer, so it'll be sitting somewhere in here, give even more clearance for that tilt, and also spread out the load. It'll probably live about that high up. But to step in the back of the Jeep, hopefully it doesn't pop off, you got a good foothold. These might even develop into be cup holders. Very utilitarian, is it not?
I like it.
Very simple. It's some kind of a machine part.
It's cool. Aftermarket.
It's got aftermarket accessories. Just look at it go. Someday soon.